our Newcastle Lions, and you're watching the Newcastle Rugby League on Bar TV.
Rodemar, he puts in a kick. This ball will bounce anywhere, and that's exactly what it does. Picked up by Withers. He bounced away from one. He'll score. Withers will go to the post. Higgins again, goes himself, looks up, supports there. They cut out one. Layden will score. Layden's in the corner. Oh, it's round 3 of the Newcastle Rugby League this weekend, and look who we've bumped into over here at Carrington. Steve Kidd, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good, Pete. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Well, let's get into the preview. Cessnock play Lakes. Lakes were never in the game last week, were they, against South?
Yeah, it was a pretty uncustomary Lakes performance that they put together last week. I expect them to bounce back this week, but Chrissy Adams having 2 games under his belt and starting to find some fitness. So it's a real tough one up there at Badley Park, but I'm going to tip Lakes in move an upset, I think. Yeah, okay. I think they're ready to bounce back.
Money's on Lakes. All right, Macquarie will play Curry. Macquarie after their first points of the season under their new coach, Adam Bettridge. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, big day out at Scott Park. They've got their junior affiliates on board for a big day and raising money for young Nathan Bennett that was injured out at Wangi there the other week. So hopefully they get a big crowd and get a tin around and raise some money for the young bloke. In terms of the game, I like what Curry did last week. They put some good pieces together, but I think Macquarie at home, I think they're ready to fire and they're pretty solid against West. So I'll tip Macquarie at home.
Yeah, we spoke to Adam Bettridge last week and he was saying, he's not too concerned. It's only round 2.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can't get too carried away. I know I was in a similar position at Cessnock a few years ago where we're well behind, but we scraped into the 5 and made the grand final. So I don't think he's getting too worried at the moment, but a loss at home to Curry might have him panicking a little bit.
Okay, our next match is Maitland versus West. West are travelling nicely after round 2.
Yeah, they are, mate. They're a very good side on paper and they've got class all over the shop. And Maitland have done some nice things in both their games, but they just haven't been able to string an 80-minute effort together. So I think I'll tip West, but I'd expect a more improved Maitland again this week. I think they're starting to warm into it very nicely. Okay, and of course on Sunday, that's our Sunday football afternoon live stream. We're heading off to Townsend Oval for the clash between Souths and Central. Gee, this is a toss of the coin job here. Yeah, I think the Souths are flying at the moment, aren't they? I mean, they've got a massive pack and a pretty good bench that comes on and does some good work. So the Central pack's also a very big pack, so it's going to be a fair battle. You'd like to think Souths at home are probably the faves, but I've liked what Central have done the first 2 weeks. So, it's going to be a great battle, and we'll see who comes out on top. Mate, you're heading off to Dubbo this weekend for the country championships. Your under-18s are playing the Bidgie Bulls. Last year's rematch of the grand final. A bit of a revenge, hopefully, this week? Yeah, hopefully. The same team, hopefully a different result. We've won our first 3 games pretty well. But I had a look at a lot of the Bidgie tapes over the last few weeks, and they're a pretty fair side. So them and Western were the better sides in that southern pool. So it should be a tough encounter. But we've improved our side over the last month through 5 weeks. So I think if we just complete our sets really well and our halves control the game, I think we've had some tight ones. So I think we'll be right to come out at the end with a victory. Mate, you've been in the coaching ranks for a few years now. You enjoying the gig? Yeah, I love it. There's nothing better than getting some kids to train that want to learn, and some of them are disappointed they're out of the night system and they want to improve and put themselves in the shop window for the country selectors. So, I've had a ball doing it. It's great. And of course, if you do get up, you go on to Scully Park in Tamworth the following week. They've sort of switched it around a little bit this year, haven't they, the Country Rugby League? You're happy with the game? As the precursor, I guess, to City versus Country, or would you prefer to have all the games on, on the one day as far as grand finals go? No, I think it's a terrific idea, really. I think, it'd be a massive buzz for our boys if they could make the final and get to run out there with a massive crowd and probably have, get there on City Country Day and try and hold the trophy. I think it'd be sensational. So, I like what they've done. The day probably dragged on a bit, last year with the Tier 2 and the Tier 1 after the 18, so I think it's a good initiative from Country Rugby League for sure. All right, mate. Well, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, and good luck on the weekend. And you're back. You can come back any time. We don't hold any grudges here. Just give us a ring, and you can come back. Not a bad little setup we've got here. Yeah, I thought you might have been desperate when you give me the ring, but I love it. So anything to promote the game lately, I'm happy to be involved.
4 years. 4 years. I've been here 9 years. 9 years. Wait, no, not 6. I've been here 6 years. I play halfback at the moment. I play hooker. And I play lock.
Dad's old now. Dad doesn't play anymore. Dad coaches under 11s.
I like Adam Woods. I like Uade.
Two for Uade. Popular. Why do you like Uade?
He's nice at the end of the game as well, and he comes around at the end of the game, so he's also a football player. Night.
You get to go to all the games?
Yeah. Most of them. I like footy because I like tackling people, and I also like running the ball a lot, so I just like it. It's fun. I like hooker.
Yeah. What about you, mate? What do you like playing?
I like rover. Lock.
You like being everywhere, don't you?
Yeah.
You like going all over the place, eh?
And I like playing halfback because I get to move the ball around and make decisions. Definitely not the night. Maybe.
Is it fair to say Newcastle might come last?
Yeah. They might win the Warner Spoon. That's the only thing they'll probably win this year. That probably. I love RTV and go the Butcher Boys!
Tim, you're out of action at the moment. What happened?
Yeah, copped a knock on the weekend. Just copped a stray knee to the head, so got a few stitches and.
Yeah, you got a few in there. How many you got?
I got 9 all up. So I'll try to bump it up, but no. So yeah, I'll be out this weekend, unfortunately. So it's a shame. Coming up against South, which should be a good game.
Yeah, it will be a good game.
Yeah.
It'd be, a toss of a coin sort of game. I mean, South are travelling all right, but you guys are travelling just as good. How do you think it will go?
Yeah, look, they're playing great footy, and that's what they're doing. They're just playing really good footy. They're throwing it around. They got some good halves, good fullback. They're pretty creative. Great back rowers with a bit of footy in them this year. So they're in form. To put 38 on Lakes is massive, especially out there. So yeah, I mean, hopefully our defence has been improved this year, and it's going to have to be to match it with them on Sunday.
You just had your video training session, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
Did Rowan identify anything particularly, that he wants to address before you head out there on Sunday?
It was more on us. It was just fixing up a few things we can improve from the weekend. So both in defence and attack, which we've got a long way to go to get to where we want to be. So we just went over a few things.
But you've had a bit of involvement now with the Knights and also the Butcher Boys. You train with the Knights in the off-season, I believe?
Yeah, I started in November. I did pre-season with the Cup Boys. So 3 days a week there, and then I've just come back now, do a session a week at the Knights, and then if I'm playing there, go to their sessions during the week or come back down to Central. So
because Matt Lantry's at the Knights?
Yeah, it's good to have affiliation with Matty. So he's been coaching me for 3 years now, so it's been good.
Yeah, then of course you come back here. What do you want to get out of this season with the Butcher Boys? I guess it's a transitional period, and I mean you can play here and at the Knights as well.
Yeah,
each
that's
week.
it. It's like every other club, we're looking to win the comp at the end of the day. So looks like we've got a pretty strong side this year, and within our group we're pretty confident that we can have a good season. So yeah, just come back here and try and fit in as best as I can. So yeah, it's good.
You guys take on Souths on Sunday. How's it shaping up at training this week?
Yeah, no, we've got a few injuries and that. We're looking pretty battered and bruised from last week against Cessnock. But I'm sure the boys that come up and get the opportunity to play will do the job.
Of course, you'll go around on Sunday. What are you expecting? They're a big, tough forward pack, South.
Yeah, I'm expecting a physical game, especially down there at Townsend. They're always hard to beat and they're always aggressive there. So, I expect them to come out firing and, have a good red-hot crack.
Mate, you've got a broken hand. How did that happen?
Unfortunately, not even a comp game this year, just last trial against Lakes. Not having a very good run in trials so far, so hopefully only the next sort of 3 games and we'll be back playing, so no, not too much of the season hopefully.
But it's good that you can still come to training and train in other ways.
Yeah, we've been training since November, so I don't want to sort of waste the last 4 months and try and get away from the boys, keep together, keep learning new things, and the main thing I was going to run, try and keep fitness up, try not to fall away.
Well, that's the main thing, isn't it? You know, get to training as much as you can, and so you feel a part of the team still.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to get here as much as possible and get amongst the boys. I know it's not the same on game day, but it's still good to be here supporting everyone. So. And
no doubt you would have been here last week to watch the boys go around against Cessnock. I did well.
Yeah, no, it was great. Unfortunately not to play. Junior club is Cessnock, so it was great to see the new club get a win over them, but yeah, it would have been great to be out there with them.
I mean, everybody talks about the Liam Foran factor at Cessnock, but I think you guys did pretty well to pretty much shut him out of the game last week.
Yeah, like he's not an awesome player, NRL Super League quality, but I think if you just get up, get in his face, get him a bit frustrated, he might try to do too much, and I think that proved on the weekend, and we sort of upset him a bit, and in the end rolled over them in the middle.
Mate, this week, of course, you play South on Sunday. It's the Bar TV live stream match of the round. Has Rowan identified any player that you really need to watch out for?
Of course, they've got good halves, great fullback too, and Stevie Witters, nice and quick from the back. But I think, yeah, just identifying, getting up in the halves face early like we did last week, sort of putting the pressure on, making play early, so we can get up, get read, good line speed, and I think we should be able to solve most of their problems.
We are the Newcastle Lions, and you are watching the Newcastle Rugby League on Bar TV.
Got a big game on the weekend. It's our live coverage match. You're playing the Central Newcastle Butcher Boys. Of course, they won last week against Cessnock in good form. You must be expecting a torrid match come Sunday.
Yeah, Central they've started the season off very well with a couple of tough games with West. Just going down to them and. Horrifying conditions. Good to see them get up against an old club last week. But yeah, I'll be looking for a good one this weekend.
Yeah, what's the game plan been at training this week? What have you identified that you need to overcome to beat them?
Well, our coach Todd, he goes through video sessions, and if he can see that they're excelling well in one area of the game, we'll try and nullify that, work around it in the drills, and then just stick to our guns.
Now, you've got a great kicking game on you. Was that just years and years of practice as a local kid, getting out to any park you could get to?
Yeah, getting down to trainings early. Yeah, putting in the time, and you know, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So that's where I think it's come for me.
We are the Newcastle Lions, and you are watching the Newcastle Rugby League on Bar TV.
It's round 3 of the Newcastle Rugby League. As we say, a very warm welcome to Townsend Oval for today's Sunday afternoon football clash between the South Newcastle Lions hosting the Central Newcastle Butcher Boys. It's the Lions. Dan, we've had a pretty rainy morning here in Newcastle, but the rain has cleared in time for our 3 o'clock fixture here this afternoon. Well, we're going to introduce the commentary side. We've got a fairly new face in the box here this afternoon. Brad Tye, a warm welcome to you. How are you going?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Good.
Mate, thanks for coming along. Western Suburbs went around yesterday. How did you fare?
Yeah, we ended up getting a win, so it was a bit scrappy, the game up in Maitland. I think it was a 10-point buffer in the end, but this time of year, it's good to come away with a win.
All right, well, let's go through the Newcastle Rugby League program for round 3. We'll quickly go through the South Newcastle Lions as they take to the field. Then we'll introduce Morgan Campbell, who's down on the touchline this afternoon, thanks to our sponsors in 2016, including Benedict Recycling. This is how the Lions stack up today. Steve Witters is at fullback. On the wings as Marcus Boyle and Jared Flanagan. Tim Christie and Lewis Schneider in 3 and 4. 6 and 7, very experienced in Willie Header and Jared Rottemar. The backs look this way. Angelo Piccionini, Jake Lawrence, Ben Roos, Brendan Simpson, Lauren Higgins and Ben Tupou. The interchange bench for the Lions, Luke Higgins, Daniel Nielsen, 15 is Fippa Leo and 17 is Sam Cook. And of course they're coached by Todd Hurrell. The Butcher boys, they look this way as they go into battle this afternoon. Cameron Anderson at the back, Dane Bamblett and also John Sheridan on the wings. Clackety and Austell in the centres. Riley Brown and Jordan Warboys in 6 and 7. Rowan Kelly to lock the scrum, along with Brett Jarrett, Ethan Cook, Matt Baker, Tom McKenzie and Jerome Wilson. The bench for the Butcher boys looks this way. Brendan McKenzie, Dom Murphy, Cruz Wilson in 17 and Cody Brooks will go to the 19 jersey. We've just heard from the Butcher boys. They have had a fair few injuries coming out of their camp this week. Today they're without Tim Penny. They're also without Brad Calder, Gudgeon and McNamara. But they're here to play, and that is the main thing, up against the South Newcastle Lions. Morgan Campbell in the commentary box. Good afternoon to you, Morgan.
Afternoon, Peter. Really looking forward to this game today. It should be a real beauty. I think South, they came with a bit of an upset last week, knocking off Lakes. And Central had an upset last week as well, knocking off Cessnock. So both these sides are on the rise. The feel-good factor's there for both of them. And I think they're both entirely welcome to be very optimistic today. I think this is going to be a really good game.
Thanks, Morgan. Well, let's go through yesterday's Newcastle Rugby League results. Lakes 32 defeated Cessnock 18. Western Suburbs too good for Maitland by 22 points to 12. And Macquarie overcame Curry by 22 points to 10. In the Country Rugby League Championship semi-finals, the Bidgie Bulls, they knocked out our under-18s Newcastle Rebels side in Golden Point. The final score, it was an absolute nail-biter, 27 points to 26. So that means next Sunday at Scully Park in Tamworth, the under-18s grand final will be between the Bidgie Bulls and the Western Rams, while the under-16s will feature the Greater Northern Tigers and the Western Rams as well. And of course, both of those games are the precursor to the big City versus Country game, and that game, of course, will be live on Channel 9. But it's round 3 of the Newcastle Rugby League. We're about to get underway. Brad Tye in the commentary box, along with Morgan Campbell and the Butcher boys running right to left on your screen. And the first hit up comes the way of Matt Baker, and he's met there, of course, by the big number 10 in Brendan Simpson. They're just on their own 20-metre line as they come away from the southern end of the field. We're in the first hit up here on Newcastle Rugby League, round 3. It's Sunday afternoon football. As we see now, the Butcher boys take it to the 30-metre line. They drop down 20 short. They'll need a good passing game here this afternoon. Rowan Kelly says they've primed, they're prepped, and they're ready to give it to the Lions here at the Lions' Den. That's the 4th tackle now. We'll look for the kick, will we? No, they're going to throw the football around. That's exactly what they wanted to do, and this is exactly what they've been able to achieve. And they're dropped down now about 38 metres out from the Lions line. It's the last tackle. We'll go to Morgan after the kick. Back to Warboys. He goes high to the air. This ball might bounce. It does bounce. Central may come back up with it. They put in the kick. Boyle's got to go back there and collect it for the Lions. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him. And we see the first penalty of the day here, Morgan, to the Lions here, just on their own try line.
Really interesting first setback from Central. They were keen to throw the ball around straight away. And it might come as a bit of a surprise to viewers who know there's been a fair bit of rain in the last couple of days. But the pitch is in really good nick. They've had the covers over it. So there's absolutely no reason why both sides can't throw the ball around.
Brad, a flying start there from the Central Butcher boys. As we see the Lions now, they're able to find touch. There's trouble here. Right on the 30-metre line. Doesn't look the best there. I think they'll find that's Rowan Kelly, the captain and the coach, Brad, on his clutches on the South's 20-metre mark.
Yeah, I think the Central, they come here to play today. They're throwing the ball around nice and early, so it's good to see. So hopefully we're in for an entertaining game.
Brad Tye in the box with us. Great to have Brad along for the journey here this afternoon. Of course, Brad's played over 113 odd NRL games, haven't you, mate, in your illustrious career? Of course, it all started with the Knights. Then you went down to the Panthers, and then the last 2 seasons with the Gold Coast Titans before coming back here to the Newcastle Rugby League. Is it good to be back in Newcastle?
Yeah, mate, great to be back and playing a bit of local footy.
I tell you what is good, Peter. It's great to have 113. Between the three of us, we've got 113 NRL games experience. That's pretty good, I reckon, for a commentary team.
That's brilliant. That is sensational. I don't think we'll get any more better than that this year, Morgan. I don't think so. Let's see if the Lions here can get off to a good start. This is the first time they're inside the Butcher Boys territory. Back to Higgins. He goes from dummy half himself. Very elusive around that ruck area. Nice tackle over the top there from the Butcher Boys. They'll play the ball back now. 21 metres out for the Butcher Boys line. Back to Header. He puts in the kick in between the fullback and the winger. Bamblett's under pressure. Will he see it go dead? He does. Oh, Brady's cool as a cucumber at the back there. Diamondite winger in Bamblett. Mate, if you're out there and you were in that position, what would you have done?
Oh, yeah, well, you just let the ball, run into touch, I suppose, or run dead. So it's a good by the winger.
Any other ground in Australia, and that's probably a goal line dropout, but they're very skinny in goals here. It's with that bike track around the ground, so Bamblett didn't have to watch the ball for too long.
So we see now the big lock. This is Cook taking it towards the halfway line here. That's Kelly. He's got the ball up over the halfway line, put down there by Rodemar, the halfback. Which way will it come now? Comes back through the back line. Away to Riley Brown. They got numbers out here. Jarrett spinning away from one. Still going. Jarrett got the pass out the back. This is Bamblett, and he's going to be taking the tackle about 21 metres out from the south line. Where will it go now? Comes away to Brown. They straighten the play up. This is the big number 10 in Baker. Last tackle now for Central. Will they run it? Will they kick it? Will they go themselves? This is War Boys on the last tackle. Well, he thought he'd go himself. In hindsight, maybe a kick was the best option.
Yeah, I think so. Early on in the game, they need to get through their sets and, complete early. So I like what Central's doing. They're throwing the ball around nice and early, moving the South's defence. It's good to see. So, it's going to tell later in the game.
Brad Tye there, more than 151 games of National Rugby League. Fantastic to have him in the Newcastle Rugby League commentary box as the Lions take it to the halfway line here at Townsend Oval. They're lining up to take it forward with gusto, and this is Piccioni. What a run! While they lock forward, comes back then out of Higgins. They go forward again through Lawrence. Got a good offload in him, as displayed there. This is Schneider. Schneider trying to get away from Tyler Austell. Ball pops out here. Is that the first knock on of the day? I think we'll find he might have given away a penalty. It was a late call from the touch judge here, Morgan.
Yes, he changed his mind. We've got this, we've mentioned it a couple of times so far this season. The referees and linesmen don't have the electronic communication anymore. They can't talk to each other from afar. So we're going to see this occasionally where the referee makes a decision and then the linesman has to contradict him.
So now this is Simpson. Are they about to register? First points here at the Lions' Den. Good pass. Oh, it's come off Central.
Touch there from War Boys, I think.
Yeah, it did. Right on the 10-metre line here. So 6 minutes gone, thanks to Benedict Recycling scoreboard. 0-all, both sides. Still feeling one another out here, Brad.
Yeah, I like the way Souths are playing at the moment. They're well balanced and good structure. So, they're pressuring the line pretty good at the moment. So, won't be long before we see a result, I think.
So that's the replay, which has given us this picture, which is the scrum packing down. There's big Ben Tupou in the front row in jersey 20. You can't miss him this afternoon. So the Butcher Boys, as I mentioned at the top of the program, they're without their big four in Tim Penny, Brad Calder, Kudgeon, and also McNamara. But Austell and Sheridan looking to bridge the gap, if you'd like to call it that, as they come now to the 20-metre line here. We're live and exclusive thanks to our broadcast partner, Top Better. Getting the game at topbetter.com.au. Here's the kick just outside the 40. Witters has got to go away and chase the ball along with Boyle. Boyle's got Witters in support if he wants to throw it to him, but he goes away from Witters, goes himself and takes a tackle there of Riley Brown, the 5'8", 21 metres out from their own goal line.
Even though they're taking a few risks, Central, it's still been pretty neat and tidy. They haven't made too many mistakes. Bodes very well for them. I mean, round one they had that terrible quagmire at Harker Oval that they had to play in, in very bad conditions. so they didn't get much chance to use the ball there. But obviously last week on a dry track against Cessnock, they used it very well. So looking good for them early in the season.
Now this is Liam Higgins, wrapped up by Riley Brown. Of course, he signed up, Riley, last year with Souths. Couldn't get a game, broke his ligament. Now he's here at Central as they go wide. This is Christie. He's got the try line in front of him. He beats Anderson and scores in the corner. Tim Christie, speed to burn, and that's how he can do it, Brad Tye.
Yeah, didn't he show some toe there? He got around the Central defenders pretty easy here and showed some toe down the sideline. So, it's good to see South on the board.
You just can't beat pace, can you? Pace like that, Tim Christie, just once he was outside them, he was always favourite. And that's a very bright start to the game for South. They've made a few mistakes early here, but once they put a backline move together, Central were in trouble.
Well, this is on the replay. This is how it happened, thanks to topbetter.com.au. The ball was on the ground, but they spun it to the left quickly, and this is Christie. Beat War Boys, all end up. Anderson just couldn't quite get across in time. And the first points here at the Lion Den. After 8 minutes, goes to the home side with a kick to come.
I'll tell you what, Peter, I'm struggling to retain my position in the commentary box here. We've got a meat tray coming up the stairs, which looks absolutely sensational. They've got a roast chicken, pieces of steak. Anyone who's sitting at home, I think you should get out here just to buy a ticket in the raffle.
Knowing you've brought $100 worth.
Not yet.
He's got a few left there, so
still time.
Might purchase one.
So here's the kick. Kicking into the breeze from the touchline. Bringing it back around, but it's waved away. So no change on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard. It's 4-0 in favour of Souths over Central. Live and exclusive this afternoon on the home of Newcastle Rugby League, Bar TV Sports. And of course, a big congratulations to the Newcastle Knights. Harold Matthews' squad knocking off the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs yesterday. The Knights now play the Parramatta Eels in the grand final next Saturday at the Penrith Football Stadium. Unlucky though, if you just joined the coverage, the under-18s, Newcastle Rebels, got knocked out in Golden Point against Bidgie. 27-26. So we've got time off here. We've stopped the clock.
Looks like Cruz Wilson in number 17, Peter, who's gone down.
Not a bad crowd in here at Townsend Oval. Upwards of 2,000 people in here today. It's been a big weekend of rugby and rugby league here at Townsend Oval. So we had the rugby union yesterday. And in less than 24 hours, backing up for the Newcastle Rugby League. Good run by Piccioni. Hard and straight towards the halfway line. The Lions on the back of that try. Are they about to lift their intensity? They're making good meters through the middle of the ruck. This is Jarrett. Takes the shot there of Wilson. That's the last tackle now for the home side. I think Witters might have been a touch in front of the kicker. This ball's going to go halfway to Dixon Park Beach.
It didn't matter if he was in front of the kicker or not. He needed to be on the bike track to take that one. Dear, oh dear.
Yeah, it's not a good way to finish a set. So, they'll look to rectify that. We'll see what Central can come up with here, and hopefully they can get back into arm wrestle.
Thoughts there from Brad Tye, playing in the Newcastle Rugby League. The Western Suburbs Rosellas. Of course, Western Suburbs got up yesterday over the Maitland Pickers. So Central looking to grind their way back into this match. This is Brown, goes himself. Higgins combining with Simpson there. That'll test his shoulder. That's War Boys, straight through the middle. He'll kick for himself. Souths go away and clean it up and take it dead.
Great burst of speed there from Jordan Ward, boys, wasn't it? He saw half a gap and absolutely sped through it. The chip and chase wasn't to much avail because he got knocked over after he kicked it. But still, that just goes to show what Central can do. If that's the way they're going to play, it's going to be very, very difficult for South to defend.
Of course, South Newcastle Lions come into round 3 undefeated on the ladder. They knocked off Curry by 40-14 in round 1 and cruised past Lakes last week by 38 points to 14. While Central, too good for Cessnock last week. So both sides in good form here. That's Wilson with the football. He takes a tackle now, 21 metres out. Back to McKenzie. He finds Jerome Wilson and the big bustling prop. He's cut down 4 metres out, trailing by 4, looking for their first points. Jarrett, can he get it down? That's the decision that the referee in Taylor has to say, and he does. Well, they've been able to strike back within 3 minutes. We're locked up at 4-4 on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard.
Yeah, you can see there the experience out of Riley Brown, taking it to the line again, doubling up on the short side and putting a back row through a hole. So, yeah, it's good to see.
Well, I'm led to believe, Morgan, that the referees still don't have any communication between touch judge and referee out there. So this is the try.
Great bit of strength, wasn't it? I mean, from that point there, you think he's second favourite to get the ball down, but he just kept twisting and fighting and scrapping with them and eventually won the battle. It was very well done. A valiant attempt over the top there by Lewis Schneider. But, yeah, it looked all right, the grounding, but it was a good tussle. I think you're right, though, Peter. They still don't have the technology, as I mentioned earlier, so it's just going to take a little bit longer for decisions to get made because you're going to have this sort of conference around between the referee and the two linesmen.
So Marcus Boyle just laying down the instructions for the Lions in the background there. But here's the kick now with Bamblett. Hits it, looks good. Touch judges like it. So Central, after 10 minutes, go to the front on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard. 2-point ball game here in the Tui's Cup. Sunday afternoon football right here on Bar TV Sports. Brad, we mentioned yesterday you had a gruelling match against Maitland. You got up in the end, but the Pickers, how did you rate them yesterday?
Yeah, no, they were good. They got a young side. We were a bit scrappy. You know, we didn't play for the full 80. Full credit to the Pickers, though. They come out with a young side and they really stuck it to us. So we come out on top on the end. So, but yeah, full credit to the Pickers, and you know, they'll be a force, I suppose, moving forward.
No doubt you'll be watching this game intensely as West take on Souths next Sunday afternoon at Harker Oval at 3 o'clock. While Central do battle with Lakes at Carl Oval next Saturday. This is Riley Brown. Every time you mention his name, he's trying to cause havoc, just like this man in Jerome Wilson.
How about those two coming
barnstorming his way downfield.
How about the defenders having those two coming at them? Dear, oh dear.
Here's the kick off the boot now. War Boys sending it along the ground. Boyle's with it. They're directing the traffic out there in the early part of this match with the kicks towards the wing of Marcus Boyle, aren't they, Morgan?
Yeah, they seem to be. There's been a definite bias in the kicks so far.
So topdata.com.au. If you haven't got involved in our fantasy competition, get involved. And also Benedict Recycling is our scoreboard sponsor in 2016, along with Cornelia's Crump, the best exotic drink in Australia. That's the halfway line. 45 metres away from the central line. Down by 2 here at the Lions' Den. Header goes high. Anderson's gone without it. Gone backwards, though.
Well, they got away with that, didn't they? Cameron Anderson there with a tough chase, and he had Steve Witters coming after him, but he was facing his own goal line, so I suppose they had no choice but to say knocked back.
Penalty here. This will get them outside their own red zone here, Central. Just tuned to the coverage, clicked on. Our coverage is going live across the Bar TV Sports and Pub Network in more than 60 licensed premises across New South Wales, right throughout the Hunter and the Illawarra. And it's great to have Morgan Campbell and Brad Tye along for the run here today. As this is Baker sending across the War Boys, finding Brown. He goes himself. He's through. Here comes the Winners. The pass. Well, it's play on, but Central couldn't get to it. Luckily, the Lions are there to save the day, Brad Tye.
Yeah, that's Riley Brown again showing his experience with a show and go and straight down the middle. So it was a shame they couldn't finish it off, but it's good to see number 6, Riley Brown, taking a line on.
That's Jared Flanagan. Now that's Higgins giving it across the line again. The 15 is with it, and that is the big Fippolio. Receiving a penalty, hand in the ball. So 20 minutes gone here in the first half. 6-4 here on Bar TV Sports. And don't forget, if you've got a question for Brad Tye or Morgan Campbell, anything about rugby league, hashtag Bar TV Sports and join in the conversation here on Sunday afternoon football.
I'd suggest if you've got a question about rugby league, probably ask Brad. I think he's the man with the experience.
Brad's the man. He's our go-to man. Let's see who the go-to man or men are right here in this set of 6 for the Lions. Going to spin it. Witters cuts out one. He out finds the pass away. Oh, Boyle! Boyle had the try line right in front of him, but the ball's just gone straight through him.
Yeah, all he had to do there was catch the ball. He probably scores in the corner. So, yeah, it's a shame. But, yeah, it's good to see old South.
This is it on the replay. Look at that lovely ball by Witters. But Boyle.
Yeah, he still had a bit of work to do, but gee, would have been favourite to get over from there. I noticed South now just using their bench. Angelo Piccioni's just come off in the 13. So they've used two changes so far, Souths. Rowan Kelly's come off for Central as well.
So a tight one here. Sunday afternoon rugby league. The beachside suburb of Merriweather hosting today's dynamic battle. Look at that defence over the top, led of course by Simpson. So Central grinding their way outside their own 20-metre line here. They're going to spin it through the back line. This is where they're effective. Clackety gives it across. Just on the own side of halfway here. 20 minutes gone in the match. That's Ethan Cook. Doesn't want to go into the ground. Plays it back to McKenzie. Now to War Boys. He puts it along the carpet and finds touch. And Witters says, I'm not going to play at that. I'm just going to collect the ball after it dribbled pretty much into touch. So a scrum will pack down. Lions will feed it. 20 metres in from touch, 10 metres out from their own line. Our referee in the middle on screen right now, Tom Taylor. One of the youngest in first grade here in the Newcastle Rugby League. Assisted here this afternoon by Callender and Clark, who's out here on the western touchline. Now, earlier games in the 19s, Central, too good for Souths, 26-22. In open grade, it was Souths 24, Central 12. We'll come back to the scores in reserves. Here's a penalty. They're trying to get on with it as quickly as possible, but that just pretty much slows down the effectiveness of their fullback, their crafty little sharp fullback in Witters, who wanted to bang it well into touch. They're able to achieve it now, though, and go on the attack once the tap is taken. 40 metres out from the Central goal line. Who wants to take it forward now? Schneider. He says, give it to me and I'll do my best, and he takes the shot of Sheridan. Back to the right-hand side. This is the short blind side. Away to Flanagan. He's so close to
Ball's
going
come
into
out
touch.
there.
The ball spills out. Was it helped? It was.
Oh, hang on.
Penalty. Hand in the ruck, hand on the ball. Little bit of niggle here.
Well, despite the encouragement of a few of the members of the crowd behind us, nothing much came of that little bit of a fracas. But it's just bubbling away early on, isn't it?
So South's here. Down by 2. Looking to go to the front. Are they about to do it? This is Jake Lawrence. Back to Higgins. That'll bring a penalty. And it's on. It's on here in the Newcastle Tooheys Cup. The crowd animated, more animated than the players, one might say. Now, you've got to remember that in 2016, players can go on report, and the NRL can notify the clubs by 5 o'clock on a Monday if they are willing to take that option.
I think after that little scuffle, it might be easy to say who's not on report because there are about 25 blokes ran in there.
So Jerome Wilson there just being told by Tom Taylor to drop back to your in-goal area. And Taylor is going to take all the time in the world to get this right. This is it here on the Bar TV replay. High. Would have brought a penalty nonetheless. And then the scuffle continued on from there.
Yeah, I thought it was high, but wasn't much in it. A bit of push and shove, but I think South just need to settle down, settle back into their rhythm and complete this set, build a bit more pressure.
So South here on the attack as we come back to the live picture here. They're in the centre of the field. 12 metres out. They're short to the right, the Butcher boys. This is the way they come. Header. Played for Cessnock last year. Before that with the Albury Thunder in the Group 9. Where will it come now? Comes away this time to Lawrence. Lawrence will get over. And that try puts South back to the front. 8-6 kick to come.
Yeah. Nice little short ball by the 5'8" right there. Held the ball up nice and neat and put the back row away. It's a good play.
Yeah, Willie Header, interesting role that he's got at Souths this year. Last year at Cessnock, he seemed pretty preoccupied with running the ball a lot. He didn't do as much ball playing as you might expect of the 5'8". He's a pretty big unit, so you can see why he runs it a fair bit. But that was a very nice pass there, the double pump, and put him through beautifully. In fact, it was a triple pump, which you don't often see. That's a very specialist move. And Jake Lawrence ran a good line and crossed pretty much untouched. So lovely bit of play from South.
So the parochial crowd enjoying that. Surrounded with a packed grandstand here this afternoon. Been coming to South now for many a year, but this grandstand packed to capacity. Willie Header. Got a good kicking game. Even a good penalty goal attribution. And there's the wide shot under cloudy skies here. Souths go to the front. They lead by 10 points to 6 here on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard. Just in case you clicked onto our stream, yesterday's results, Lakes overcame Cessnock, West too good for Maitland, and Macquarie too good for Curry. I don't think that score line actually reflects the tightness of the match out there at Lyle Peacock Field. Curry went with Macquarie for pretty much 68, 70 minutes of that match before Macquarie ran away with it in the dying 10 minutes of the fixture. As the Lions now bring it back to the 40-metre line. Eagerness in the middle. That's what we love. That's what the fans love to watch. This is Fippa Leo. Where will it come now? Here's the kick on the halfway line. Anderson's got to go away and collect the ball. He's going to look up. He's got traffic in front of him. Schneider leads the race, and they try and push Anderson back towards his own goal line. Of course, Anderson was pretty much recalled into the side after Timmy Penny's late withdrawal throughout the week. Got a bit of a hit to the head last week when they overcame Cessnock. They gave him up until Thursday night, but Rowan said, mate, you got 10 stitches. We'll give you this week off. So Anderson called in at fullback. As we see now, them coming up through the middle of the field again. War Boys had a dynamic game last week against the Goannas. Been crafty again, along with this man in brown. Coming outside their 40, this will help them. Now, has he just lost that ball, or did he give a penalty?
Forward pass.
I was just looking away. It's a forward pass, Brad.
Yeah, forward.
Yeah, Souths, you can see they're sort of finding their feet now and getting into their game plan and getting into rhythm. So they're starting to get on top of that Central now, and you know, if they score again before half time, could be a good result for them.
Notice there, I know it was pulled up for a forward pass, but when they went to that short side, Ethan Cook was very eager to throw the big spiral ball out to the wing, and it's very handy for Central to have a ball playing back rower like that. Adds a lot to their attack.
Thipoloyo has been busy playing in the second row. Higgins goes himself, getting closer. Lost the football on the third tackle. Taylor, the referee, was right on the spot to give us the correct decision there.
Triple change coming up for Central here. The game just getting a little bit scrappy. Triple change 15, 16 and 19 coming on. So Brendan Menzies, Dom Murphy and Cody Brooks all coming onto the field. And we'll try and catch, once this scrum's over, we'll catch who's coming off.
You mentioned there Dom Murphy actually made his first grade debut against Western Suburbs in round one of the competition this year, along with his brother. So it's great to see Dom Murphy back here, having a brilliant start personally himself to this season. That was Wilson playing the ball. They're about to come to their own 40-metre line. Not a bad day for rugby league. Plenty of early morning rain, but that's cleared to be a picture-perfect afternoon under cloudy skies. Haven't had any rain. We had about 50 mils in Newcastle up until about 9 a.m. this morning. Inside the 40, the kick off the boot of War Boys. Goes straight down to Steve Witters. He's looking around for support, but he's crafty. We know that. He's dynamic, and he's sharp, and he's quick.
Geez, I like the look of Steve Witters. Geez, he's quick, isn't he? Bringing the ball back.
He's been with the club for plenty of years, Witters. He loves it here. Playing out of the Lions, Dan. We've got the lights on now as we head towards 3:30 here on the east coast of Australia. As we see now, Tim Christie with the ball. He's been up in first grade for a few seasons now. He's cemented his spot in the centre three-quarter position under captain coach Todd Hurrell. No Todd Hurrell out there today. He's rolled his ankle, out for possibly a month or so as they come out wide here. Speaking of Schneider, he gives it away to Flanagan. And Sheridan in cover. 5 metres in from that western touchline. Up by 4. Header kicking for himself. Anderson's in traffic. Anderson's in goal. Anderson's in trouble. Anderson's over the dead ball line head first. Welcome to first grade.
Well, it felt like the welcome to the WWE, dear oh dear. Poor old Cameron Anderson, pardon me, got absolutely flattened. A really good chase there from South. It was a crafty little kick, good enough to stay inside the in goal, and they were up to belt him. So a real opportunity here with 10 minutes to go until half time. Another try here would be a sickener for Central.
Yeah, it was a great set there. You know, they moved the ball around. It's good to see South moving the ball around, and it's a good finish there.
The line drop out, 50 metres on the fly. That's a bit of a high shot there, coming off the arm of Cruz Wilson. Penalty sufficient. So they're inviting Souths inside their own half, aren't they? As we look at the replay, which warranted the penalty.
Yeah, pretty nasty one there. Just a bit of a coat hanger, really. But I tell you what, if some of the people up in the grandstand here were refereeing, Central would be down to about 9 already.
Sunday afternoon rugby league. With Peter Jolly, Brad Tye and Morgan Campbell. This is Luke Higgins. With 8 minutes to go in the first half. Header. Great ball back on the inside. Fippolio. Takes the shot there of Brooks. That's Higgins again. They go short. They're still denied. Last tackle now for the Lions.
What a tackle that was.
Higgins awaiting in a dummy half. Lawrence, last tackle. He goes himself, Lawrence. He's held up. Or did he get it down? He might have rolled over, and he has got the try. Jake Lawrence. Sensational work by the big number 12.
Well, weaving run there from a second row. You don't often see that sort of thing, but he always looked like he was favourite there from the minute he got the ball. There was a bit of fragmenting in the Central defence, and he'd be having a very, very big day in real NRL Supercoach today, Jake Lawrence. 2 tries before half-time. Just opens up the gap a little bit.
Yeah, I think if South just keep building some pressure and getting through their sets, they can come up with a result. So, like we've seen just then.
Well, Cameron Anderson, he's having a 5 minutes he'd probably prefer to have all over again. So here's the kick. Willie Header. Won 3 premierships in the Group 9, Willie, with the Albury Thunder in consecutive years. He wanted to challenge himself, he said to us at training throughout the week, to come up and play what he says is a higher level of country rugby league here in Newcastle. First season with the Lions, and he is on fire. Here's the kick. Kicking towards the southern end of the field. This one looks better. Oh, it's just to the right-hand side. Well, 14-6 here on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard, leading into the break. Now, you've played a few games now in the Newcastle Rugby League since coming back from the Titans. How do you rate the quality of this country rugby league comp?
Oh, mate, it's up there. I suppose just the toughness. Obviously, it's not as fast as the NRL, but when you talk about toughness and physicalness and all that sort of stuff, it's right up there. So that's what I've found being back, a couple of weeks.
Do you find, as a bloke who's played NRL, that opposition players are really looking for you and trying to target you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, even playing yesterday against Maitland, you get your name dropped a lot of the time. So it's hard to put plays on. So
yeah,
you just got to come up with something a bit more craftier. So I know I'm going to get sort of targeted in the local league. So I'm looking forward to it though.
Great to have Brad Tye here. Here's the kick inside the 40. It'll go out on the full. Out on the full. So back out here, Morgan. Yeah, well.
Second one from South today, out on the full. Not a habit you want to be getting into.
Well, I'd like to know the last time Central were down in this end of the field. So it's their chance now. It's been at least 10 minutes by my calculations. That's Wilson rampaging his way down to the 30-metre line. 14-6. That's Dom Murphy. Playing first grade this season. They're going to run it. War Boys. They come short. They hold onto the football. Right option here as Cook gets off him. Menzies. They work the left-hand side of the park. Charging onto it now is Brooks. Higgins slowly releases him. Chance now. War Boys away to Brown. That's Jarrett. Still going. Of course, Jarrett also plays in the New South Wales Cup with the Newcastle Knights when he's not playing here. Play on. Anderson kicking. It'll go dead. Penalty, though, right in front of the post of the Butcher boys here. With 4 minutes to go.
Referees cop a lot of stick, but I thought that was really good from Tom Taylor there. He was just about to blow the penalty and had enough presence of mind to say, I'll just let this go. He gave Central the advantage, gave them the chance to score, and then came back for the penalty.
4 minutes before the break. Menzies cutting out one. Souths desperate to hold them out here. Looking for this try before the break. This is Clackety. 2 metres away. Simpson releases him. They go for a dig from dummy half. They're going to barge their way close to the goal line. In fact, they were able to get over, but he's held up. And will come back out and play the ball there through Menzies, who was held up over the line. That was the second tackle there for the Butcher boys. So 3.5 minutes to go before the break. Anderson gives it away to Jarrett. Stepping, weaving, looking around. Simpson combining there from the Lions. A metre out. Last tackle. Back to War boys. Well, it was intended to him. But it's gone halfway back to Sydney. Now the Cook has to do something special. They've lost it out there through Clackety. And now they come away with it through the Lions. And then they've barged in the touch. 20 metres out from their own goal line.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing by Central there. Their halves have really got to step up and take control in that situation. 3 minutes before half time. So... That's the replay coming up right now. That was the ball intended to go to War boys, but Cook had to go back. I thought for a moment there he was going to put in the kick, but he had the hindsight to go out wide. Then it sort of just crumbled the puzzle. So 14-6. 3 minutes out from half time. In front of a packed crowd here at Townsend Oval for round 3. The Tooheys Cup, Newcastle Rugby League. That's Daniel Nelson. Brooks getting off him. That's the halfway line. They advance it now through the big 17 in Sam Cook. 41 metres out. The lights are on. Here's the kick. Anderson's lights. They better be on at the back. They are. He beats Witters. He straightens up. What a run at the back.
Great return
from Cameron Anderson. Now to Clackety. Bustling their way through the middle, aren't they? Taking 3 Lions on the back of them. That was the catch on the replay. Beautiful hands by Anderson. Now to Murphy to the halfway line. 2 minutes remaining. First half. This will bring a penalty. Hands in there, signals Tom Taylor. So they're not going to muck around here, the Butcher boys. They're going to put boot to the ball and find touch. 31 metres out is where they'll take the tap. They'll be loving this opportunity. This is Tyler Austell. Runs straight and hard into Header, and also Schneider. That's Menzies. Brown goes himself. Flung into the turf there from around the collar. Now to Menzies. Away it comes now to the big number 12. They're dropping down just centimetres out from the goal line. Menzies again in the dummy half. He feds it out to the right-hand side. They go short. Oh, they're so close, aren't they here? 2 metres out, down by 8 on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard. Long cut-out pass required. Brown's got it. He turns it back to Jarrett. Away now to Austell. And he's going to be wrestled into the ground. Last tackle now for the Butcher boys. War boys going high. The biggest air raid we've seen this afternoon comes down to Sheridan. But Sheridan's struggling to find support. He does now. They flick it over the top. It's hot potato. It's play on. Now they're kicking for Austell. But the Lions save the day and take it dead. Well, that was all scrappy, but entertaining little passage of play in the end there, Brad.
Yeah, very entertaining half. It was unlucky Central in the end there, but looking forward to the second half. Should be a good game.
What do you think the coaches have to say at half-time, mate, if you're in the Lions camp right now? What do you think Hurrell will be saying to his Chargers?
Maybe tell them to get through their sets. They kicked out a couple of times on the full and not completing and that sort of stuff. They showed that when they're completing their sets and getting through, they're building pressure and they're getting results by scoring a couple of tries there. So that's what I'll be saying to the boys in South Sheds.
And what do you be saying to the Butcher boys if you were Rowan Kelly? What's their advice?
Probably exactly the same. They've already showed their hand. They've thrown the ball around a few times and played a bit of footy. So I'm liking that. If they can stick to doing something like that, they could sort of get a result from there as well.
Okay, well, that's half-time here in the Tooheys Cup Newcastle Rugby League. It's 14 points to 6. Souths over Central. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this interview with Willie Header.
We are the Newcastle Lions, and you are watching the Newcastle Rugby League on Bar TV.
Rodemar, he puts in a kick. This ball will bounce anywhere, and that's exactly what it does. Picked up by Withers. He bounced away from one. He'll score. Withers will go to the post. Higgins again, goes himself, looks up, supports there. They cut out one. Layden will score. Layden's in the corner. Well, it's great to have Willie Header on the program. How you going, Willie?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Mate, Riverina boy, of course, in the last few years, you played a lot of your rugby league down there. What was it like playing rugby league down in the Riverina?
The footy, Brad, that's like the footy that we play here. Definitely a level above here. Enjoyed my time down there with Albury. Won 3 seasons of 3 the years I was there.
Mate, you came to the Newcastle Rugby League. Was that pretty much about challenging yourself?
I just thought I had done enough down there, so I needed a bit of a change. And then coming here really opened my eyes to what sort of other footy's out there.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you had the first season last year with the Cessnock Goannas. What was your time up there like?
Really enjoyed it up there. Not a bad side to go into coming into the competition, so I knew a couple of boys from NZ over there, the Metcalf brothers. So that's how I decided to go up there, and I'm still living here in Merewether. So.
Yeah, a bit of a long commute for you.
Yeah, it was.
Mate, you're back here now with the South Newcastle Lions. I guess petrol's a lot cheaper.
For sure.
Yeah, so what made you switch from Cessnock to here? This is because you were living in the local area?
Yeah, just like you're saying, there's a time factor, like straight after work, heading up that way, hour drive. Doing the training in our home, obviously. So it was just more about the training wise.
And how's the feeling here at the club? You've blended in okay?
Feel like I fitted in really well with the boys. They got a good group of guys. There's more new faces to the side, so everyone's made me feel welcome, and thoroughly enjoying it.
Now, when you compare the competition that you were at down in the Riverina to the Newcastle Rugby League, are there a lot of similarities?
Yeah, I think so. Like, they have former NRL players running around in the competition, so they have that here. But I think the calibre of players that are trying to push for the next grade above is what makes the level heaps better here.
Now, if you can look into the crystal ball, you're happy to stay in Newcastle for a few more seasons. What's the bigger picture for you?
Look, I'm just taking it as each year goes by. I'll just see how the body feels at the end of it, and I'll be more than happy to stay here at Souths.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Got a big game on the weekend. It's our live coverage match. You're playing the Central Newcastle Butcher Boys. Of course, they won last week against Cessnock in good form. You must be expecting a torrid match come Sunday.
Yeah, Central they've started the season off very well with a couple of tough games with West. Just going down to them and horrifying conditions. Good to see them get up against an old club last week. But I'll be looking for a good one this weekend.
Yeah, what's the game plan been at training this week? What have you identified that you need to overcome to beat them?
Well, our coach Toddy, he goes through video sessions, and if he can see that they're excelling well in one area of the game, we'll try and nullify that, work around it in the drills, and then just stick to our guns.
Now, you've got a great kicking game on you. Was that just years and years of practice as a local kid, getting out to any park you could get to?
Yeah, getting down to trainings early, putting in the time, and you know, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So that's where I think that it's come for me. Yeah,
I was going to say, you know, if little kids are watching, that is the advice, isn't it? Start early and practice and practice and practice.
That's it.
And get a gig wherever you can start playing footy.
Yeah, mate.
So, mate, we'll let you go. But, yeah, appreciate that. You have a great season, and all the best on Sunday.
Cheers.
We are the South Newcastle Lions, and you are watching the Newcastle Rugby League on Bar TV.
Yeah, well, back here it is South in control here on round 3 of the Newcastle Rugby League. Well, our commentator today, and it's great to have him on, is this man right now, Brad Ty. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, mate.
Thanks very much for doing this, mate. We just spoke about throughout the call, you know, you've had an illustrious NRL career. You played for the Knights, you played with the Panthers, you played with the Titans. Now you're playing back in the Newcastle Rugby League comp. You know, you've seen plenty of rugby league football ovals over the last few years, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen a few, but in saying that, it's good to be home. I think I've still got a few more years left in me, so run around the local comp with West, so I'll see how we go.
Mate, top better, you're working with the local top better here in Newcastle at the moment?
Yeah, so really enjoying that. So in at the office, so it's a little bit different to full-time footy, I suppose. The last 10 years I've been playing full-time footy, and the last probably 3 or 4 months I've been sitting behind a desk, so took a lot to sort of, you know, but sort of coming around now and getting used to it.
Mate, you played a lot of your football with the Penrith Panthers before switching up there to the Titans. What was life like up on the Gold Coast?
Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was a bit of a lifestyle change. My little 6-year-old daughter, she really enjoyed it up there. You know, we did a lot of the theme parks and that sort of stuff, and the footy was good. I think the Titans are just going through a little bit of a transition phase there right now, so... But, you know, they'll be a force in the next couple of years for sure.
Mate, they've got a fantastic arena up there at Rabina, haven't they? You know, must have been an awesome feeling, you know, going to watch football, play football up there.
Oh, yeah, it was a very good ground, so it was really good to play on. It was a good surface and that sort of stuff, and the fans up there are pretty good. So, yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed my 2 years up there, and, yeah, something I'll look back and, you know, sort of remember and treasure.
Yeah, so what's the plan at the moment? Stay in Newcastle, watch your kids grow up and, who, you know, maybe head overseas in 2-3 years' time?
No plans to go overseas at all. I've got a young family, like I just said. I've got a 6-year-old, and I've got one on the way as well. So the plan is just to sort of move back and settle, knock out a couple of more years, maybe playing local. Yeah, hopefully you can get away with a premiership with West. That'd be pretty ideal.
Yeah, Western Suburbs, of course, the pinnacle in the Newcastle Rugby League. They won 3 premierships in a row a few years ago. Couldn't quite get to the grand final last year. What's the feel amongst the boys this year? Obviously, GF is what everyone plays for. And Hunter Stadium, how good would it be to run out onto Hunter Stadium?
Yeah, no, it'd be good. The feeling around the camp at the moment is pretty good. Obviously, the main goal is, the GF. But, we'll see. It's only, early in the season and, we'll get through a couple more games and we'll see how we go.
Mate, you guys take on Souths next week, so keep a steady eye on how this next 40 minutes unfolds, and of course that'll be a big clash. Sunday afternoon football next Sunday, of course, at Harker Oval. Morgan Campbell's gone downstairs to find out what the coaches have had to say at half-time. He's back into the commentary box.
Never mind gone downstairs. I've very nearly gone down, tripped on one of those crates. But anyway.
Did you win the raffle?
No, I didn't get a ticket. I thought it would be unprofessional to be, negotiating for raffle tickets while I was supposed to be commentating a football game. It was a close-run thing, though, I can assure you. I did partake in a steak sandwich. Best in the comp here, by the way.
So we're back here for the second half. Souths. Can they go on with it? Can they dominate? Not much in it. 14-6. Or will the Butcher Boys find holes to get back through them to get us back relatively tied up on the scoreboard? All those questions we'll find out as we go through the next 39 and a half minutes here.
40-20.
That's Anderson.
Oh. Just went
Big
the wrong
first
way.
half. They ran him around wild, didn't they, in defence, and showed great glimpses in attack as well. Cameron Anderson. Anderson giving his best opportunity to impress Todd Hurrell here this afternoon, after being called up throughout the week in to replace Tim Penny, who's out for a few weeks after a kick to the head. Ended up seeing him with about 9 stitches throughout the week. This is Clackety giving it away to Sheridan. Last tackle. Cook goes high to the air. South did well at the back. They said to the Butcher Boys, whatever you can throw at us, we'll defuse the situation. And that's exactly how the script ended there for the Lions.
Keen to use the ball, aren't they? Keen to use the ball. I mean, that play that ended up with Sheridan tackled on this near touchline started on the far touchline that went through about 5 or 6 sets of hands. So you can tell that's exactly how Central want to play, chucking the ball around. It's just going to be a question of whether they can keep the passes going to hand.
Heavy impact there coming from the 19 in Cody Brooks. Higgins, elusive, dangerous. He's coming down to Anderson. He's got support. It comes back there now to Witters. He'll shut the gate, Witters. He'll score. The crafty, sharp, talented fullback. He's under the post.
Yeah, that was a great try there. Didn't Higgins show some toe up the middle? And, Steve Witters there in support. Great try by ourselves.
Cameron Anderson there found himself really just backtracking. He was trying to keep his options open for as long as he could. He didn't want to commit to Liam Higgins and eventually gave himself a chance. He worked it quite well. Nearly got an ankle tap on Steve Witters at the end there, but he was just a little bit too quick. But Liam Higgins just opening them up down the middle of the park, and that's always a worry for the coach. We just see it here on the replay. It was just a little bit too easy there for him to open the middle of the Central defence up. You wouldn't expect there to be too many tired legs 3 minutes out from half-time. And that's a worry, I think, for Rowan Kelly at this early stage of the half.
Steve Witters, what can you say about him? He lights up the Newcastle Rugby League. And that's how he puts a good show on for everyone here. So Willie Header converting the Witters try. So the undefeated South Newcastle Lions go to the front by 20 points to 6. And that first try came in the second half after just 4 minutes. Our sponsors in 2016, a big thanks to Top Better. Get in the game at topbetter.com.au. If you've got any rubbish to throw out throughout the week, Brad, go across to Benedict's Recycling. They'll look after you as far as all the cycling goes, as the touch judge puts his flag up over there on the eastern side.
Yeah, a bit of a mix-up over there on the wing for South. The kickoff from Central pitched in the turf and then went into touch. So as soon as they've scored a try, they've given Central an opening here.
And Brad, Cornelius Crumps. Now you're probably thinking to me, Crumps. No, not quite what you're thinking. Not the toasted variety anyway.
Oh, no,
this is the exotic drink in Newcastle. You can get cucumber, you can get lime, you name it. You get your hands on one of them this week and you'll have a blinder against South next week. I'll give you the tip. This is War Boys.
The views of Peter Jolly do not represent those of Bar TV.
Close, but denied. That's Menzies. I think this will bring a penalty. It has to bring a penalty. It does bring a penalty. Hand in the ball area there, and as every good fullback does, including Steve Witters, just goes across and says to the ref, "What's going on there, champion?" He says, "Figure that one out for yourself."
Need points here, desperately, Central.
Yeah, Central's halves really need to take over and take control here.
So Cruz Wilson on his back. McKenzie works the left. Brown offloading. Can they go close? This is Jarrett. And the New South Wales Cup Newcastle Knight player plays her back. Inching their way closer to the Lions' den. 2 metres out. Can they take him on? War Boys straight through. He scores. All set up there by the 5'8" in Riley Brown.
Yeah, Riley Brown again showing his class and his age right there, his experience. So, you know, putting a little halfback over for a good try there.
He looks faster this year, Jordan Warboys. I saw a fair bit of Central last year, and I don't remember him being this quick, but he's hit a couple of gaps in this game at real top speed. And that was a very impressive line that he ran there. I know he got a try last week against Cessnock, and it's obviously something they've been working on, having him running off Riley Brown. But Riley Brown, he's had a few nice touches in the game so far, and this time put some points on.
There he is, the try scorer. As Morgan mentioned, he picked up a brilliant try last week over Cessnock. And another one goes on the highlights reel for him in round 3.
Yeah, Central back in this game now. I think they need to get through this next set, complete, build a bit more pressure.
Bamblett with the kick. Raises the flags towards the southern end. 8-point ball game here on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard. The Tooheys Cup, live and exclusive right here on Bar TV Sports. And this telecast is brought to you by Top Better, topbetter.com.au. Cornelius Crumps and Benedict Recycling for your waste industrial needs. There's the kickoff. Bounces awkwardly on the 20, picked up by Anderson, the fullback. And straight into Higgins he runs. Well, the Lions here, they'll have to be careful. Let's hope they don't fall off, because we know how electric the Butcher Boys can get their way back into the contest. And credit to the Butcher Boys on what they've put on here this afternoon. This is why they love to throw the ball around. They love putting on a bit of razzle-dazzle. That's Clackety. That's the halfway line. They're about to go over. They're without Tenpenny. They're without Gudgeon, Calder and McNamara. Doing the club proud. Falling over there is Flanagan. And Jared can't go any further but to his 20-metre line there, Morgan.
One of the things I've noticed in this season in the Real NRL so far is that teams are playing very, very deep. I mean, rugby league for a lot of years, they went to that real flat at the line sort of style, but you see, we certainly noticed it with Cessnock and Lakes yesterday. I noticed it again with Central today, that when they're setting up for a backline move, you've got the winger sometimes 25 or 30 metres back. So it's funny how the fashions and sort of styles in the game change over time.
Murphy gets off the Lions. They're going to run through the back line here. Are they about to go on a raid? That's the halfway line. Only centimetres in from touch. Here's the kick. Little crossfield kick. It was intended there, I think you'll find, for the tackler in Witters. So Central here. Brilliant territory to start their fresh set. That was Austell playing the ball. Austell's in to replace Calder. Hasn't seen much of the ball, Austell, but every time he has, he's made a few metres. Speaking of meterage, was that stripped?
No.
Referee says no, it wasn't. It was just all legitimate there. So credit there to the Lions. Brad to force the error right on halfway.
Yeah, to me it looks like Souths are going away from their game plan. They're inviting Central back into the game, which could be dangerous. So we'll see what happens this next set. Hopefully they can get through it and complete it.
Mate, if you're out there for Souths, what are you telling your Chargers?
Oh, just to get through our set. We've got to get back in the arm wrestle and complete our sets. Hopefully they do it after the scrum.
Brad Tighe there, over 150 NRL games in the National Rugby League for the Knights, Panthers, before joining the Titans. Now with the Western Suburbs Rosellas. This is Ben Roos. It's been quiet for the Lions. We haven't seen much of him. Run of 10 metres there on that occasion, thanks to their number 16 in Daniel Nielsen. Backer comes to Higgins, gets it across to Header. He now finds Fippolio. So 21 metres out. Lights are on here. Up by 8. Cook finding Christie. Menzies taken his legs from underneath him there from Christie. Clutching his head as he was playing the ball. Here's the kick back towards the goalpost. They've dropped the ball. The Butcher boys have just put it through them.
Yeah, Don Murphy there it was, who was probably taken by surprise. The ball snapped back at him off the boot. And it's another great opportunity here for Souths, who suddenly have had a little run of possession. They've made a couple of changes as well. Changes 6 and 7. So it looks like there's a number 20 on the field, so that's Ben Tupu. And the number 10, Brendan Simpson, looks like he's come back out there as well.
So Cook sending it away. Witters finding the big number 6 out there in Header. Now the Tupou. They're lining up. Simpson. The crowd urging the locals on here. Tupou.
So close.
A metre out. Switching it. It comes back to Header. Header, it goes himself. Header will score. That's class. That's brilliance. And that's experience. There from their 5/8 in William Header. He wanted a challenge. He had a challenge not just to come up from the Group 9 and play in this competition, but he had a challenge right before his very own eyes there. Ended up taking the line on, and bingo, 4-pointer.
Yeah, they look good with the ball, don't they, Sal? So any sort of possession they get, that sort of stuff, they can put some points on. So great try there, great feet, and good finish.
Are we in England? Did I hear the choir behind us, Brad Ty? Are we in Huddersfield?
They love it, don't they? They're South supporters, so they'll probably be out next week.
Oh, they love Sunday afternoon football in this part of the world, that's for sure. South Leagues Club taking our coverage into the Leagues Club this afternoon too, Morgan. Couldn't get a game. There's been a raffle or two down there with ligament. Now he's here at Central as they go wide. This is Christie. He's got the try line in front of him. He beats Anderson and scores in the corner. His own try. Tim Christie. He nails it straight between the black dot how he can do it, Brad Oval.
Yeah, didn't he try...
Souths on a roll here. Sunday afternoon football. Right here on the home of Newcastle Rugby League, Bar TV Sports. Hashtag Bar TV Sports. We've got Brad Ty in the commentary box, waiting to take your questions via social media.
Can I ask one?
Yeah, you can ask one.
All right.
Have you got a ticket? I know we won't. You don't need a ticket. It's
Yeah,
okay.
Brad, in your career, who was the toughest defender that you ran at?
Toughest defender?
Yeah.
I played with him a few times later on in his career. Nigel Plum.
Oh, that's what they all say. Yeah.
Early on, when he was playing with Canberra, sort of, if I was coming for a scooter or carry, I try to steer clear of him. But it was good the last few years in his career. I played with him at Penrith, so it was good
not
to have
having
him
to run at him anymore.
Exactly. So you steer clear of Plummy. Don't worry about that. He'll plumb you.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? A guy that always gets brought up by first grade players, toughest defender, Nigel Plum. Yeah.
No, he was up there.
Yeah, it must have been a hard bugger.
So a hush now goes around the ground. The locals know they may have it in the bag. Is it too early to seal the bag?
They've just made a few too many mistakes so far, Central, haven't they? Their attackers look good, but they just haven't completed enough sets to give themselves proper field position, and they've given South a few too many opportunities. South, for their part, they look a really slick side this year. A couple of big wins in the first couple of weeks of the season, knocked off Lakes last week, and this is the first time I've seen them. It's not surprising that they did beat Lakes because they look pretty strong. And they've got the ball back now.
So the ball comes away to the Lions, coming out of the southern end, running towards the Nobbies end of the ground. Lost ball here. So the game going through a patch here where you don't need me to tell you, but intensity certainly dropped to what it has been for the last 40-odd minutes of the match.
Interesting, Peter. I don't know if it was a plan or not, but Rowan Kelly, the Central captain coach, he started the game. He went off after about, I think, 15 minutes and hasn't been back on the field. So I don't know if he's picked up an injury or something, but yeah, lower than his usual amount of minutes, Rowan Kelly, so far in the game anyway. He's been on his feet for most of the games. As the coach, he can't sit down. He's been bobbing up and down and sort of pacing a little bit, but hasn't been back on the field for a while.
Whilst there's life, there's hope. That's certainly what would be going through Rowan's mind right now. That's Anderson, McKenzie, Warboys, Cook, great ball, Sheridan, heading towards touch.
Stayed in.
Now to Clackety. Warboys. They came up quickly on Brown. McKenzie. Here they go. Great ball, great hands. Keeping it alive. There's the kick into the in-goal area. Oh, only centimetres in that, Brad Ty.
Yeah, a little bit too strong there. And, too much on it. I think South will be looking to complete this set. I don't think they've completed the last 2 or 3, so they need to complete this one.
So Rowan Kelly barking instructions now from the touchline. He's off the park, the captain and the coach, as Morgan alluded to. Oh, it's hit.
There it is.
Lawrence.
First Falcon of the season.
Falcon, we
Fantastic.
love them. That'll make the highlights.
It certainly will. Here we go. Why did it take until round 3 for the first Falcon of the year? That was a perler. Can we get that on replay, Josh? Fantastic stuff. Nothing gets the crowd out of their chair like a Falcon.
So, 12 metres out. This is the Falcon. Oh, it's hit him right on the noggin. Right on the head.
Turnover.
Fantastic
So
bit of
back
work
to
from
the
our production team too, can I say. Marvellous.
Quick. Brilliant. Headed up by Josh and Clay this afternoon, the Bar TV production team. Within 4 seconds. That's speed. Just like this man. He's got speed to burn. Baker, impressive. Bringing down Piccioni. They're lining up now. Back to Simpson. Rottemar. Ball's on the ground. It's gone behind Rottemar. Referee disagrees.
Yeah, it was a pretty disappointing end of the set right there. They had him on the ropes there, and could have been game over with another try right there.
He's an interesting player, Jordan. Is that Jared Rottemar? Pardon me. Yeah, he's an interesting player. He usually does most of the organising. He doesn't tend to have huge involvement in the big attacking plays. So there's a bit of surprise element there when he throws the dummy and goes himself. But he showed there that he's got that bit of attack in him, and he's got a little bit of pace as well. It was a lovely bit of play.
So Central running into the halfback shoulder in Jared Rottemar. Bamblett, it was. Out towards their own 20-metre line. Piccioni, the 13, putting Clackety into a unusual type of position on a rugby league field. Legs straight towards the stars here. War Boys. Brown, lost.
Asked a lot of him there. It was Jerome Wilson back on the inside, and you ask a lot of him to catch that pass right at the line. The mistakes just starting to really hurt them now, Central. They're not giving themselves the best chance to go to chase this game. 18 and a half minutes to go, 14 points behind. It's going to be really tough from here.
So Sam Cook putting the ball in. Eastern side here. That's the way they come. That's Lewis Schneider. Anderson, the youngster at the back, played well. Certainly knows he's here in the Lions' den. He's been tested in more ways than one. Tupou. 15 metres out. Ball's on the ground. Simpson says, that's okay, I'll charge and after I get the football. He was able to beat one, but McKenzie gets off him. Back then out to Rottemar. Quick hands. Christie. Tackled sideways there by War Boys. So it's the last tackle now for the Lions. Rottemar kicking. Hits the post. They get it back and they'll score. Liam Higgins got the ball off the padding. Oh, we're at Wembley. That's where we are. Have a listen to the crowd.
Yeah, they look slick with the ball, don't they, Old South? So, got the result there. A bit lucky with the bounce off the pad, but, they were building well for that, and it was a good try in the end.
Liam Higgins. Well, you just never give up. Look at this pinpoint kick off the half-back in Rottemar. Hits the Tui's padding. And Liam Higgins.
Good value for a try today, Liam Higgins. Had a good game. A few good runs out of dummy half.
There's the try scorer on the screen right now. Well, you create your own luck. It's the old cliche. But the luck was probably aimed to perfection. Off the big Tui's new padding here. Morgan alluded to. Oh, it's hit.
There it is.
Straight into the hands of Higgins. So here's the kick now. Steve Witters. What a match he's had at the back, along with Rodemar, Header. That three, an awesome trio. Witters, Header, and Rodemar. He nails it. 30 points to 12 on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard, 16 minutes out from full time. If you just clicked onto the stream, actually, Morgan, I know many of your mates up at Cessnock, they've probably just clicked onto the stream.
Oh, yes.
Would they have known the results from yesterday in the Newcastle Rugby League?
Yeah, I think it's pretty well known by now, yeah.
Cessnock didn't win.
No, they didn't win. No, they...
Lakes thumped them, actually, 32-18.
Oh.
West, too good for Maitland. And Macquarie, too good for Curry.
Yeah,
and so far, South's too good here in Central.
Yeah, Lake's a bit too good yesterday. Very, very slick across the back line, and Cessnock's defence just didn't cope with them, I'm afraid. Very good result, though. Well, a result that tells you a lot about how South are going, because Lakes looked tremendous yesterday, and South dusted them up pretty handily last week. So if that form line's anything to go by, South are going to be right there at the end of the year. You were talking earlier about the real NRL tournament that's going on at the moment with Top Batter. I had the under 44.5 points in today's game, so if these sides could just pack up the point scoring for the rest of the afternoon, that'd be very helpful. We're right on 44 at the moment. I also got on the Brad Ty yesterday for first try scorer,
yeah,
so he delivered for me.
Yeah, I got my first try yesterday, so it was good.
I owe you a steak sandwich for that.
Steak sandwich. Coming from Morgan, Brad, that's good.
He's a bit tight.
Is he what? War Boys. 21 metres out. Central. Never say die attitude. The petrol still in their tanks. That was Baker. Now to Mackenzie. War Boys kicking. Boyle losing it. I think he might have got his hand to it there in Sheridan. We'll go to the replay.
So. Yeah, the linesman waved for the ball, for dead ball, so
no
he's going to send it
try,
out to the
says
20.
the officials on the screen, but we're not so confident. We want to have a replay, and guess what? We've got it here. We'll slow it down. Boyle misses it. Sheridan's on the spot.
No, good decision,
good decision.
I reckon Marcus Boyle just got his left hand on that.
Brilliant decision by Taylor, Clark and Callender. Decisions like that, they won't need the communication gear. They were right on the spot. Brilliant call by the officials. And Tom Taylor, for a young referee, having an absolute blinder.
You've got to have pretty good eyes, don't you, to spot that? I mean, that's a split-second thing with two hands. Getting to the ball one after the other in very quick succession. That's a good bit of refereeing and linesmanship, shall we say.
Schneider over there taking the tackle of Austell. Now to Brown. Wilson doing what only he knows how. They're close, aren't they? That's Brooks. Down by 20, though. Heavy hitting there by the Lions. And the ball just plummets out of Wilson's possession. So 12 minutes remaining here on the Bar TV Sports scoreboard. Powered, of course, by our good friends this year. And we couldn't do this telecast without three of them. Our broadcast partner, Top Better, Benedict Recycling, and Cornelius Crumps, the best drink in town. And I'll tell you what, Morgan, it's Bar TV's favourite choice of beverage. Is it yours up in Cessnock as well? What do you drink up that way?
Very, very pure water.
Straight out of the tap. Oh, they've put it down. The crowd not quite happy with their Lions' efforts there. Giving a chance for Brown to send it out wide. Tunnel ball and into touch.
Well, I'd say eventually one of these sides will have to get past tackle one. Dear oh dear. The last couple of minutes have been a circus.
Oh, we love coming to Townsend Oval. We're right amongst the crowd. They just let you know as they see it. Pretty much 99.9% of every rugby league supporters tell you that much.
Yeah. No, it's a really good crowd today. The grandstand's pretty full. There's plenty of people around the fence on this near side.
So Schneider going through a slow period of the match. When you're up by 20, you're probably allowed to take the foot off the accelerator a tad. But what a start to 2016 for the Lions. Undefeated coming into this round. They easily encountered for Curry in round one by 40-14. Demolished last year's premiers, 38-14 last week's with Lakes United. Now they're up by 20 here with 10 minutes to go. Rodimer on the 40 says, let's go for a 40-20. It's rolling, it's rolling. It's not going to go into touch though. Anderson's at the back. And the fullback is chopped liver there for Lewis Schneider.
He's had a tough day, Cameron Anderson. He's been under a lot of pressure at different times, but I think he's handled it really well. Up into first grade today for Tim Penny, and he's made a couple of good runs, a couple of half busts. A good start.
Boyle, the winger, in there. War Boys will receive a penalty, holding down. So they haven't been on the whistle of Taylor much, have they, in the second half? But they've got a penalty here, and War Boys says, boys, let's pick up our tempo here. They find touch. Clackety wanted to get on with it. Answered War Boys' call, but halted in his progress there from Tom Taylor. So 44 metres out from the Lions line. Jerome Wilson, hard and strong. Doesn't matter if he's down by 50 or up by 50. Always puts in a hard performance. Win, lose or draw. Jerome Wilson. Now to Brown. Going himself. Failed to play a game here last year with that ligament injury that ruled him out of 2015. Switch from Souths to the Butcher Boys this season. There he is in the shot, calling for it. He's about to get it now. That's Brown. He's going to kick it. He's praying. He's hoping. But Boyle answers his own prayers there and takes an easy catch and back out to the 20-metre line.
Yeah, that was a pretty disappointing kick there by Riley Brown. There was a little bit too much on it. So, you know, if I'm Central, I'm thinking about next week now and closing out the game and getting my plays on.
Central take on Lakes United at Carl Oval next Saturday. Well, Souths, they go around with your team, Brad, on Sunday at 3 o'clock, Western Suburbs. What a match that's going to be. Sunday afternoon football at Harker Oval. Two of the undefeated sides, one might say, heading into round 4. An epic contest awaits. 25 metres out. That's Schneider. Away to Cook. Hetter. Rottimer kicking for himself. Can he get it back? Anderson's at the back, loses it. Rottimer claiming the try. Taylor says no way.
Well, thank goodness for that. I thought I'd put the mocker terribly on Cameron Anderson there, but he ended up just getting away with it. And so Central are going to have to drop it out from under their own posts. About 5.5 minutes to go, or 6.5 minutes to go here. And South just looking for maybe a bit of a cherry on top.
Brad, your guys, you know, you guys are going to have your work cut out next Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at South today, you know, they look pretty slick with the ball. So we'll have to go back and reassess during the week and what we're going to work on.
So Souths rolling it forward again.
The contest between the two fullbacks is going to be good next week. Brad Ty and Steve Witters.
What a clash. Of course, our match of the round on Bar TV. We're heading up to Maitland. Piccioni rolling over, losing it. Now, Taylor may give this, but I've got a big question mark. Did Piccioni lose the football first, or did he ground it first, then lose it? We're about to find out on the replay.
Just a bit too big and strong there. Maybe a few tired legs in the middle of the park as we have a look at the grounding. Yeah, I think we might need to go to camera 4 there, as they say in the bunker. Bit hard to tell. The crucial moment's just obscured by Ethan Cook's backside, but I think it looks relatively okay.
Yeah, I think he got it down on the line.
We'll give it to him. At this time, but you know, at this stage of the match, it's not going to do anything that's going to change the scoreboard as favour of Souths going on to take the 2 competition points and to remain undefeated heading into round 4 next weekend against the Rosellas. So Willie Header, he achieved everything that he could in the Group 9 at the Thunder. Won Players Award, Season Award, won premierships. He pretty much filled the cupboard as far as medals and medallions go down in that part of the world, down in the Riverina. But the Lions, and they've done this today without their captain and their coach in Todd Hurrell. They are a powerful force in this competition this year. Will we see the Lions here taking it in goal? We ended up seeing that. And to Powell. Winds up and takes it back out to his own 15-metre line. So the lights are on. 4 minutes to go. And the Lions' Den exactly living up to its hype, isn't it? Teams coming here. Look out. We know that Curry has a fortress. We know that's called the Graveyard. But the Lions' Den certainly has a nice ring to it. And the crowd certainly get behind their boys here. Here's the kick inside the 40. Away from Anderson, going across field. Collects it nicely. Losing his footing at the feet there of Jared Rottemar. Quick play the ball allows Sheridan to go for a dig to the 40-metre line. So 2.5 minutes to go here. Adds Clackety to the halfway line. The cricket pitch is where we see Wilson juggling the football. Header wraps him up. They come out to the commentary side. That's Ethan Cook giving the pass away. Last tackle now for the Butcher boys. Menzies. They're going to run it. Wool boys to Brown. He's going to send it high. Testing kick. Bamblett goes higher. Couldn't come down with the ball. And now the Lions are pushed back towards their own 10-metre zone. Assisted there in the tackle, of course, was Brett Jarrett from the Butcher boys, who is up from the Newcastle Knights, New South Wales Cup squad. They've got the partnership between Central and the Knights. Of course, the New South Wales Cup is coached by former Butcher boy coach Matt Lantry. So we're slowing down the clock and the play as we wind down on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard. Souths. Look out for them in 2016. A force to beckon with. And Western Suburbs might be 3 weeks, three nights at training this week, Brad. Who knows? that they will be one hell of an opponent come Sunday at 3 o'clock. That's Menzies with the football. Are they able to finish this off with a try? This is Jarrett running straight into the shoulder there of Cook and Lawrence. Riley Brown sees the ball going over his head before he's been cleaned up from Brendan Simpson.
They've just struggled to get Riley Brown involved today a little bit, haven't they? He's had some great touches when he's got the ball, as that looks like it might be turned over by War Boys, who puts a bit of Wayne Rooney on it. But
we're at the A-League Grand Final here.
Indeed, but the trouble for Central is it's well and good having Riley Brown, but if you can't complete your sets and get down into attacking positions, he's not going to really be able to help you too much.
So 20 seconds to go in the match. Clackety 2 metres out. Sheridan. They're lining up to the left. War Boys kicking into the in-goal area. It's hit the post and kicked dead by Witters. He's everywhere, Witters. How do you stop him? How do you stop him, Brad Ty? How will you stop him next week?
Oh, I'm not too sure. We'll have to have a look at the video during the week and have to come up with something because Jizzy looks pretty slick today.
Well, that's full time. The South Newcastle Lions remain undefeated after round 3 of the Tooheys Cup. They've knocked off Central by 38 points to 12. Well, Brad, thank you very much, mate. All the best next week against Souths and get the training, practice. Just keep this name in mind, Witters.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. Yeah, it's been pretty good. First time, good experience. So, I can't wait for next week. I think it'll be a good challenge against Souths and we'll see where we're at, I suppose.
Morgan Campbell, you'll be back with the live stream next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Maitland and Cessnock up at Maitland should be a really good game. Maitland going to be pretty desperate after losing 3 in a row. And Cessnock have got a bit of the wobbles as well. So it looms as a game that's really going to decide how the two teams go for the rest of the season. Should be a beauty.
Okay, well that brings this coverage to an end after round 3 of the Tooheys Cup. South's too good for Central, 38 points to 12. We'll see you next time on the home of Newcastle Rugby League, Bar TV Sports.